Hi everyone, welcome to Anthony's Hobby Corner. I hope you're keeping safe. On today's video, I'm going to be doing a full service on a Lima Deltic prototype. I came across this locomotive at a local sale here, listed online, and I had to grab it because I was always looking for one of these prototype Deltics, and you know, they're kind of hard to find, but this one is not in the best shape, but it's for its age, I think it's pretty decent. Now, the previous one had done some modifications to it. You can see they've actually painted the truck covers, you know, in silver, etc. This one was replaced. I actually replaced this one. The previous owner, gave me a replacement truck, and I did clean up the truck, the rear wheels, and attached them. And that's all I've done to this one so far. What I'm going to be doing today basically is taking this apart, cleaning up the motor and everything. I tried to run it on the track, but it wasn't the most smoothest runner. It was making all kinds of sounds. So I just took it off the track very quickly. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but I just think it needs to be needs to get some TLC and a good service. So here we go. Let's just put this Lima through its paces, and let's see how it runs after. All right. So as I mentioned before, I'm really going to be servicing the power truck and not the freewheel truck or the pickup truck. I've already done that before, and I cleaned up all the wheels, etc. So alright, so let's pop this thing open. These usually come out fairly easy. There's little tabs on each end here, so I'm going to put this shell aside, and we can wash it later on with some soap and water to clean it up. There's a weight in here as well, which I just took off. It seems like the original weight is missing, so the previous owner had put one of these metal rods in here, cut a chunk of it and put it in here. Seems to work okay, but I'm going to put some double-sided tape and put it right back on there. So what we're going to be doing today is actually cleaning up this motor, and the wheels and the gear wheels, etc. So the first thing, as you can all see, they put some bracing on here as well to kind of help the structure. So it seems like it might have cracked before. So, oh well. Okay, it's just going to pop the the truck cover out from here. It's just 2 screws. The truck cover comes out quite easily. Just there we go. It's in place on the side. Now we can actually slide the truck out. Just remember the orientation. The point of the pickup goes to the front. Okay. Alright, so I definitely need to clean the wheels and the pickup contact over here as well. Then we'll clean the motor as well, and the the commutator, as well as the gears. The gears look bone dry, so I think we need to definitely clean them up as well. I'm just going to inspect the gears here really quickly to see if there's a crack on them or not. They seem to be okay. Yeah, it's just bone dry, it just needs to be cleaned up. Okay, so I'm going to first clean up the motor. These screws have been tightened quite tight, I'm surprised. And my parts tray over here. Open these up. And then I'm going to take the springs out. I'm going to put them in a little container here where I can actually put some cleaner and let it soak. Then we can take the brushes out too. Lots of meat left in the brushes. And someone's put some kind of lubrication on these brushes, which is the worst thing. You can follow the commutator. As you can see, there's some funny, really sludgy stuff on the commutator, so I need to really clean that up. Okay, so I'm going to put some contact cleaner in here. And let that soak side. And now let's look at this commutator. The commutator seems to be in really good shape. It just needs to be cleaned up properly. And the coils are in really amazing shape as well. The gearwheel is nice and tight. So let's just clean the commutator and this area in here as well. So. Cleaning up the inside. It looks relatively clean actually, but okay, so I'm gonna put some contact cleaner and clean up the commutator. Wow, there's a lot of gunk on there. You can see even after I clean up the commutator with some contact cleaner, it still looks a little dull. Even though it's nice and it's clean, it's actually got some embedded dirt in there. So well, first I'm going to use my dental pick here to clean between the commutator segments. Okay, and now I'm going to put a little bit of Brasso on here and polish up the commutator, and you're going to see it's going to look nice and shiny once that's done. Alright, now we're going to clean up the residue. And I'm going to put some contact cleaner again, just to remove the Brasso from here and make sure it's nice and clean. Okay, and let me just take a quick little Kleenex here and just clean up the commutator. And there's the difference. As you can see, it's nice and shiny and clean, and that'll make a world of a difference when you put it back on the motor. I'm also going to clean up the gear wheel here a bit, just to make sure there's no gunk inside the gear. Yep, seems to be clean. Okay, well, this is good to go. And you just need to clean this part. Yeah, the faceplate here. And you can see the wire just broke here, and re-solder it back once we're done. Now I'm going to get one of those finer Q-tips so I can clean inside the brush barrels and the bearing there as well, the center. Just give me a second. Got some of these very fine Q-tips which can actually go right into those holes in there. So I'm going to put a little bit of some contact cleaner. Clean inside the bearing. There's the dirt in the bearing. And then clean these barrels too. Wow, there's a lot of dirt in there. and use the other side to clean it dry. Alright, so the faceplate is clean. So you can move it aside. The armature is clean, so now I can actually put the faceplate back on. I'm just going to clean around here, just get some of the gunk out. Okay, so just going to put the faceplate back on here, and I'm going to put a new wire here as well. Okay, so now I can put the screws back. All right. Make sure you're just gonna freely move. Yep, turning freely. It's good. Put the brushes back in. So now let's see the brushes are. They've been soaking in this for a little while. Check out the springs. I'm going to flip the brush. It's nice and clean. And pick up the second one. There's lots of heat left on this one too. So the brushes are really should be decent. There we go. Now I can place the springs back. Go. Now we're just going to fold back the spring holders. And there they go. Alright, they're both in properly. And let's make sure it's still. Yep, it's turning well. Alright, now we're going to clean the gear wheels and then the wheels. Oh, get some stuff on my hand here. Okay. So let's get the gear wheels cleaned up here. Remove all the dirt. Seem to be some grease and stuff. Now I usually would remove these, but I don't see any. They seem to be fairly clean. They just need some lubrication, that's all. So I'm gonna just put some lubrication on here. Actually, before I put lubrication on here, I'm going to first clean these wheels and the pickup, and then put some lubrication on. So let me just put some contact cleaner here. First, remove the dirt from the wheels. There's some kind of liquid that has been put on here, which is just horrible. I'm not sure if it's oil or what, but it's actually gone on all the contact points, which is the worst thing. You want to keep them as bare and clean as possible. Alright, so let me just polish up. So I'm going to polish up the wheels, but I'm not going to polish up obviously the ones that have the traction tires on them. I'm just going to clean up the remaining 4 wheels here. Just going to pick up on this one, so clean these. Actually, all I really have to do is clean 2 because the center axle doesn't have any kind of pickups on it, so. Putting a little bit of brasso on here and polishing them, and you'll see how nicely they actually start to shine. So first I remove the dirt, the surface dirt, and now I'm trying to remove any kind of dirt that's got embedded inside onto the brass here. There's some really stubborn dirt on here that's just not coming out, so. Put some contact cleaner now and clean up these wheels again. Just take all that brass off here. Just make sure it's nice and clean. Alright, so we have some clean wheels now. And now I'm going to clean this contact in here, so I'm going to pull it out. To do that, just use the dental pick here and just pull on it. It all slides right out. Now you don't have to take it out completely because all you need to do is clean these 2 contacts. So, and there's the same gunk that I found before. So let's clean up these contacts. And also the axle where the wheel, the contacts touch the wheel. Alright, now before I slide it back inside, I'm going to actually resolder this with the new piece of wire. And then we'll assemble the truck and put it back in. So before we do that, I'm just going to clean the inside here of the truck cover. Seems fairly clean, but just so I'm just going to now go and solder this wire from the isolated pickup over to the sorry, from the brush over to the pickup over here, and then I'll be back and we'll resume the video again. Okay, so I've resoldered the wires, and as you can see, I put a brand new wire from this pickup, from this brush housing over to the main pickup here on the drive bogie, and then I have resoldered the wire from the other brush over to the trailing truck as well. So we're good there, and now I can just continue to push back the contact, because I already soldered, so I can push the contacts back and then put some lubrication on the gear wheels, and we should be good to go. Now once I lubricate the gear wheels, I'm also going to put lubrication on both ends of the motor bearing, as you can see here. I didn't forget them, I just wanted to do that at the end. So here we go. I'm just going to push this one back. So just going to push this underneath. And oops. There we go. Okay, so that's ready to go. The pickup is lined up with the screw hole there, and now I just got to clean up the gear wheels and put some lubrication on here. So this time I'm going to be using some gear lube, because it's fairly thick and doesn't travel easily and doesn't fly off the gear wheels easily. So I'm going to put a dab on both ends of the bearing, on the bearing housing here, or on the motor bearing. And then just put some on this side. Just push the okay, that's good. And now I'm going to put some lubrication on the gear wheels. Alright, I think very good. So we lubricated the gear wheels, both sides of the bearings. We've cleaned the wheels. So we're good to reassemble the locomotive back now. So before I put the motor housing back into the chassis, I'm going to attach this weight onto the center of the chassis here. So I'm going to put some double-sided tape on here, and then we'll stick it on. You know, route this wire through the side there. Actually, it'll stick on the tape. Okay. Nothing's binding, so we can put that aside. And now you can clean this shell with some soap and water. So let's do that really quickly. Put some dishwashing soap here. I'm just gonna clean this. Just put some soap here on the shell and just clean it up. And I have a very soft bristle brush here. Don't want to ruin the paint or anything. Just remove all the dust and dirt that has been collecting on this for years and years. Okay, and I'm just going to adapt this to dry. Paint job's not the best on this, but it's a rare locomotive, so I really like to kind of save this one. Okay, so now we can put the shell back. Just one final check, make sure this is nice and solid. It's in there, yeah, it's good. Got the clip connected to the rear truck, power fed to the front truck. Just doing a final check to make sure we're all good. I think we're good. Well, there we are. So we got a fully serviced Lima Deltic prototype. I think it's called the PD1, but can't recall. But in any case, here it is, and let's just put it on the track and see how it runs. Okay, so let's put it on the track here. Yep, I think it's on. Okay, let's see how it goes. Oh, it runs pretty well. It's not too bad for an older Lima. Okay, so I hope you found that video useful as well, and hope you enjoyed the service of an old Lima Deltic prototype. Well, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to place them in the comment section, and I'll be more than happy to respond. Thanks.